we've got one more item on our agenda, and that's celebrating excellence. So I'd like to request that we have our seats for a few more minutes, where I give the floor to Dr. Ibrahim al-Badawi.
The ERF 30th Annual Conference attracted 160 submissions, which were reviewed by 22 referees across 7 research tracks. In the first refereeing round, 90 were invited to the second round of refereeing, because we first take into consideration the proposal. And then after that, we invite the second round. And then the final set of accepted papers includes 57 papers by 147 authors across the 7 tracks to be presented in 20 parallel sessions. I would like here to share with you a discussion that we had at the board, and our colleague, Dr. Layla Baghdadi, raised, I think, an important issue that I thought maybe we should consider, which is that our sister research network for Sub-Saharan Africa, the African Economic Research Consortium, the process is different because they have 2 conferences per year, 2 biannual conferences. I'm saying this because I will not tell you how many years ago, but long time ago, I was the director of research on secondment from the World Bank of that sister network. So I know the system very well. So the ARC, they organize 2 conferences per year. They called it biannual conference. And what they do is that the submissions will be presented first as interim reports or interim papers. And then after the first conference, the second conference, they present the full paper. So it's a cycle, I think, of 1.5 years or 1 year. And that provided an opportunity for they call them their resource persons, for the research persons to become much more engaged with researchers in the context of the capacity building. We don't have that system, unfortunately, because of variety of reasons, including the funding and the cost of holding 2 conferences in 1 year. But still, I think it's a good lesson, because here you are thinking of 160 submissions, only 57 of them, like almost close to slightly less, more than 1/3, make it to the final. So in order to retain these researchers, I think it would be good to start thinking about the possibility of an engagement with the referees, how to enable the referees to continue to engage with those who made the submissions but could not make it. And I think this is something I would like us to think seriously about and see what we can do, because that is one remedial kind of approach that might allow us to expand and retain these researchers, so that they don't simply give up and leave the process. So that's an important point I wanted just to share with you. The list of 7 themes and lead referees for each theme include poverty, Professor Paul Magdisi; climate change, Professor Atif Qobrusi; macroeconomics, Professor Klaus Schmidt-Hebel, but Klaus actually is currently meeting virtually with the board of the bank in Chile that he advises. So for good reason, he's not here. And then we wanted Dr. Kamyar Muhaddis, but Kamyar is actually left for the airport. For labor, Professor Multim Taifour, hope she gets well. She had a health issue, but she's fine. Alhamdulillah, she's fine. But she's not with us now for obvious reason, طبعا. Finance, Professor Mineh Shinar, She couldn't come to the conference, so he's not with us here. International Economics, Bernard Hoekman, who is also for health reason couldn't come physically, but he presented today and he's in good health. And then last but not least, Professor Ramin De Soto. I don't know, where is he? He's not here?
We're trying to find him.
We're trying to find him. So in fact, the intention was not just to give the certificates of excellence, but also to get quick reflections, like 2 minutes each from each of the chairperson of the groups. But at least we have two distinguished professors here. If we couldn't get the others, as you know, for whatever reasons. So I would like to invite Atif to say a few things about his group, and and then Paul.
Thank you, Dr. Ibrahim. We received at the first submission of abstracts about 20, and then we reduced them to about 9, and we accepted 5, possibly 6, and 4 we didn't. And the subjects ranged from very wide spectrum in terms of climate change and internal migration, the circular economy, the financial intermediation and its influence on reduction of emissions, and the green transition, its prospects in the Arab region. I mean, it was very difficult to choose one. Actually, they were so good, some of the papers, that it was just literally a minor, they won the race by a nose. And it was a pleasure really going through some of these submissions, and we found them to be extremely great. The winner, as I said, was one that really reflected the role of institutional factors, and that's an important one, in shaping the relationship between economic policy, uncertainty, and energy consumption in the Gulf countries. I mean, given the importance of the Gulf countries in terms of being the largest depository in the world of fossil fuels and others, the issue of emissions, the issue of consumption of energy, it's the very important thing, because the prices may not really play the fundamental role that we expect markets to do. So the institutional factors as intermediary interventions in the way you relate the consumption of energy, the emissions that are embedded in it, and the way it will rationalize these was the main winner of this. So it is Mr. Sami Mansi and Hadil Hananiya. Congratulations. Is Mr. Mansi
Professor
here?
Atif, you're always a couple of steps ahead of us. So if we can call, since you mentioned the names, if we can call on Hadil Hananiya and Mr. Sami Mansi to get their certificates.
Very good.
Thank you.
Can we put them in the middle here and take a picture?
I will make it 2 minutes. So in the poverty, inequality, and human development, so we received 26 papers. We had the instruction to limit this to 1 or maximum 2 sessions, so a lot of competition. We finally selected 6, the best, we believe, among the submission. And it was difficult, but we choose one as the best paper, is the one from Karine, I hope I pronounce it well, Marazian.
Karine is getting the certification on behalf also of Isabel Cord and Roseanne Blond. Thank you. I call on now from the finance theme, the impacts of matching contributions on retirement and savings, evidence from a quasi-natural experiment, Saadettin Haluk, Shiti, and Halit Yanikaya. I hope I'm pronouncing this correct. Are they with us? Okay, they left. They were with us. Okay. For the macro theme, there's a split award, a recognition. One is Stages of Diversification Redux, Hoda Asim, Roberta Gazzi, and Daniel Lederman. And unfortunately, Roberta is on the flight. We were hoping to get her, but we missed her for the flight. The second one is Beyond the Norms, Innovation, Productivity, and Gender in Egyptian Firms, Amir Al-Shel and Iman Mustafa. The reason they're saying this year because they were winners last year as well. So it's a double congratulations. Okay. Political. Okay. Thank you. See, in ERF, we're very agile. We just do the job. Come hell or high, we do the job. On the political economy theme, the interplay of political turbulence and investor-state dispute, insights from Africa and the MENA region, Dina Kasseb. Thank you, Dina. See, you've got the whole audience helping now with the photo. And finally, and that's, I'm glad she's joining us online, International Economics Theme, Traders' War Against Trade Walls, Evidence from Import Prohibition in Iran, Kausar Yousufi and Samad Al-Amati. Kausar is with us. Yeah, here she is. Yes. Dr. Ibrahim, the floor is back to you for the final closing words.
Okay. I think, as you can see, as far as excellence is concerned, we are doing very well on the side of gender, obviously. Right? You know, so this is really a great achievement that the Best Paper Awards are dominated by our, you know, female researchers. That's so a nice feature to highlight. Let me actually, in closing, just actually, I think state what I hope you all agree. We had a rich agenda reflecting on the tragedies of regional conflicts and the promises of peace building, and responding to disruptions and enablers on MENA development paths. This is a very hefty, of course, theme, but I hope that we, to a large extent, we lived up to that challenge of addressing these, you know, major issues. I would like to extend the special thanks to our 30th annual conference host university, Muhammad Sadis Polytechnic, as well as the African Institute for Research in Economics and Social Sciences, and particularly, of course, Dr. Karim Al-Annawi, Professor Tuhami Abdel Khalik, and Professor Dorsey, and our donors, of course, and sponsors in these two institutions, IRIS and, of course, IDRC and AFD, who sponsored this conference. This time of the year is also for us to thank the ERF management and staff for the excellent work throughout the year leading to this conference. The research and data team, communication and policy outreach team, admin and finance team. I would also, of course, like to extend deep thanks and appreciation to our board and the advisory committee, the research fellows, and as well as, of course, and most importantly, the reviewers who reviewed, diligently and patiently all of these papers and came up with the papers that they deemed, most qualified to be presented. I would like you to mark your calendar for the 31st annual conference that will be held in Cairo from the 27th to 29 April. And finally, I would like to mention some names in addition to this general note of appreciation. Karim Al-Innawi and his team, of course, Dr. Tohami and Dr. Dorsey, I already mentioned them, and the organization. Very well would like to thank Ustaza Zainab and her colleagues, in the university for coordinating all of this support. And I would like also to extend thanks and appreciation to the ERF staff, Yasmin Fahim, Director of Research Programs, and her team, Dr. Shireen Ghunaim, Director of Communication and Policy Outreach, and her team, Ustaz Sharif Usama, Director of Finance, Anais Haqubian, Director of Admin, and their teams, Marwa Afifi, my Senior Executive Assistant, Ustaza Faiza Jafar, the Director of the ERF office in Dubai, and Dr. Maris Luis, the General Manager of FAMIS, the Mediterranean Partnership. And last but not least, I would like to extend special thanks for those who are directly involved in the organization and coordination. Special thanks to Huda Azmi, whom we would like to call the mother of the pride, Namis Nabil, Muhja Barada, and Bolis Yusuf. And we would be counting on you all to come back again, inshallah, for the 31st annual conference in Cairo next year. And have a safe trip, and we really enjoyed having you. And thank you very much.